So one of the other questions that asked me last week, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is about the woman and the position of the woman and that. So I've been giving it some thought and listening to some of the Habib, what they're talking about and things. One of the Habib Bakr al-Adani, brings it back to the original situation. He's very, very nice. What he said was, he goes that the issue is that everyone, when they talk about men and women, and what the shaitan's done is made it divide and conquer. When we're in conflict, we divide, and when we're divided, we're easily conquered by shaitan. So that's what he's doing to us. He's making it, and it's easy. Like we're all the men are like, yeah, we're for the brothers. The officers are like, yeah, we're all for the sisters, because that's our basic gender. And so he's saying that the issue is that not the Sharia. So the Sharia is pure in and of itself, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created man, He created woman, He created male, He created female. And dhulm, oppression, Allah made it haram upon Himself. So whatever the ahkam of Allah, the ruling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is for male and female, it may not be equal in terms of the same as each other, but it's equality according to how each one of them is. It's not oppressive. It can't be oppressive. It's impossible for it to be oppressive. But it's our understanding of it. And he gave a beautiful point. He said that originally when Sayyidina Adam was created, Sayyidina Adam was created from teen, from dirt, and then it was mixed with water, and then it dried, and then it became hard, salsal, and that's the asl of Sayyidina Adam. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blew the ruh into him. Then he came alive, and the angels were supposed to prostrate. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught him the names. At that time, Sayyidina Hawa, she wasn't there. Right? Sayyidina Hawa, she wasn't around. It didn't exist. And Sayyidina Adam was living in Jannah, and he had everything. He never got tired, and he ate whatever he wanted, and he needed something. And then he brought up a beautiful point. He goes, what about the Hul Ain, the creation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created for fulfillment of desire? He said, they would have been there, or not. He didn't give it. He said, possibly they would have been there. But Sayyidina Adam wasn't being fulfilled. Go back to the point. He didn't feel, it's nas or sakina. He wasn't comfortable with that. It's not just about sexuality. Because that's what the Hul Ain are for, the sexual gratification. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَخَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ, from yourself. Same genus and species, so to speak. Because the Hul Ain are just a creation. But Sayyidina Adam, he needed a human being. And so that's the difference between Sayyidina Adam and Sayyidina Hawa. What was she created from? Right? From Sayyidina Adam himself. He was already complete. He was already complete. She didn't come from dirt. She came from something more complete. And in a sense, better. But what she missed out on was the fact that the angels and the prostration and whatever happened. So she missed out on the azama, the significance of that event. And so that's why they're different. SubhanAllah, when he bring it down, he boiled it down to the difference. These non-believers won't get it. Okay? Maybe they will, but this is for the sisters to know. And so he says that because she was created complete, she's more complete in terms of children. Well, sorry, boys, we can't do it. No matter what you do, no matter how much they add and take away or whatever, it's not going to happen. It's not. And if it happens to one miraculous thing that they do with hormones, and it's not going to happen to that many of us. So we are in a situation where we're never going to be able to do that. And some women won't be able to do it either. So there's equality in that sense, but the majority, they'll be able to have the children. And then because of the completeness of her creation, she was created in a sense better. And that's not the case, but that's what we're just implying. It's interpolated. Because she was from complete. She was from the completeness of Sayyidina Adam. And then when this is what he said, which is kind of relevant to the fact that because she was created from completeness, that she sought the luxuries, so to speak, of the world. And at the end of times, when Allah Azza wa Jal, the hadith says that when the Dajjal comes, you have to tie your women up. And the other hadith says the majority of the people in Jahannam are female. And it's not a slur on women. It's not a slur on women. That's the nature, because they were created from a more complete creation. It wasn't dirt and drying and all that thing that Sayyidina Adam went through. And then the other thing is that when when Sayyidina Adam and Sayyidina Hawa, like she didn't see the azamah of Allah, so she was more inclined to eat from the fruit. That's what the ulama have been saying. She was more inclined to, because the completeness of life, it's like the hunter-gatherer, if you want to look at it that way. That the women, they make the home, they make the household, so to speak. Of course, we're generalizing to the fitra, the biological, if you want, in a sense, makeup, and also the cultural, in a sense, makeup. So, because the hunter's out, he doesn't need that permanency. He just needs to find what he needs to find to eat. Whereas the gatherer is in a more of a confined area. And so the gatherer wants to make the beautification of that place where they're always going to be. That's the natural state. So he said she had that inclination. And Sayyidina Adam went with her and they ate the apple. And what happened after that? This beautiful thing that he says that I haven't heard from anyone else. So after that, she had a menstrual cycle, which meant what? Children. So he's saying it's meant to be. So even in that example, he doesn't degrade the position of women. He's saying that was what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had written upon them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had written upon Sayyidina Adam to be brought to this earth, to be a prophet, right? And Sayyidina Hawa to be the mother of all of humanity. And we say Sayyidina Adam is the father, but she's the mother. And without that didn't happen before. She didn't have a menstrual cycle before. So, mashallah, he gives that example. I thought it'd be something that you could take away with you when you describe, particularly to Muslim women, so that they understand that no, that's not the case. There's no dhulm in it. There's no oppression in it. And one beautiful thing he said, which I always say as well, is that if women are going to seek equality to men, then they've let themselves down. If your standard for life is dependent on another standard, then you haven't got a standard. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to judge myself by how my brother's doing at school, if I do better than my brother, I'm doing good. Well, maybe my brother's average student, and I've got the capacity to be a straight A student. I've sold myself short. And he said that is the problem with feminism. He actually mentioned it. That's the problem with feminism. But he said he understands why feminism happened in the Western world, because there was so much oppression of women from the laws themselves. We don't have that in our deen, which we've mentioned previously before. Many times we've mentioned it. So, in terms of that, and I always say it to you and I'll say it again, make your own standard. Make your own way. Come together and decide that that's the best thing for us now and inshallah in the future. Alright, any questions about any of those things? Happy with that? So I thought it was a bit extra thing, so especially for the sisters, to tell other sisters so that they realise that that's the case.